Ohio gozaimasu.
Ohayou gozaimasu.
I always start the Shakespeare Therapy herbal healing show with that because Hannah, who I do it with, who's a medical herbalist, lives in Lincolnshire in England. And so it's 4:15 her time and 11:15 my time. So it doesn't make sense to say good morning and
Yes.
or good afternoon. And Ohio gozaimasu is also a perfect hat tip to you. So I wrote in the book, and you said that you started off playing the piano when you were a little kid. How old were you when you started playing the piano?
I think I started at 3.
3 years old.
Yeah.
And did you hate having to practice, or did you enjoy it?
Well, beginning was I didn't feel anything.
Oh.
But when it's a junior high, about 14, 15, I hate it because I don't have a friend. I have to practice 5 hours a day.
Wow.
But I find out I don't have a music sense. I have to memorize. And genius people, it's a different mind. I have to memorize the technique, finger.
Mm-hmm.
And lucky I have a big hand that time.
So it helped you reach the chords and everything.
Yes, yes.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why they said it's probably I'm gonna be good concert pianist. But I'm not interested in practicing 5, 6 hours a day.
Well, that's a lot. That can kill the joy of anything.
Yes.
Right.
So I tell them.
And what was the reaction?
Oh, the reaction is very, very mad. Especially mother, was adopted mother, very mad. Till die, she died, still I'm angry.
And then what happened? Because did you just quit?
Yeah, I was, because my parents was, father is a composer. My mother, when young, before the war, she was singer, classic.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
I was adopted to there, but my dear mother is also play piano because sister was a piano music family, so I adopted there.
And so when did you pick up the paintbrush or whatever? Was it still also while you were young?
Yes, because I don't have a friend to play with, a neighbor's friend, after school, play with other classmates. So I just reading a book or painting.
Wow. So it sounds kind of lonely, actually.
It was.
Yeah. So you angered your parents, but by that time, how long had you been doing artwork?
Well, I was decided to which college I gonna go, and I like to go to art college, female art college. But I don't want to fine art, so I do advertisement, illustration, that kind of stuff.
And was your father supportive of that?
Yeah, well, my adopted father has supported me. When even I coming United States, he supported me.
But I thought you got married and you came over here and you were already married. So where did you meet your husband?
Well, at school.
And so how long had you been married before you decided to move to the United States?
Probably 4 years.
Okay. And he wanted to come here because of his artwork?
Yes. He liked to. That time as American art is a really hot, pop art and stuff.
What year did you move to the United States?
65. And it's a week after I came here, arrived at the New York. we have to go to immigration office. And we hired a lawyer. And then the immigration said that this visa, it's not just student or not tourist. So they don't want to send it to us.
Oh,
And the lawyer said, don't worry, probably we can extension. And we did. And just no problem.
so how long were you over here in the United States before you ended up getting divorced?
80 years I was with him, then separate. And then I'm doing it myself. Before I came to the United States, I was working for the advertisement company.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak English well.
Mm-hmm.
In advertisement, even illustrator, I have to explain how this illustration, mean to this things.
Right.
I can't tell them.
Oh, I see.
So I
Oh.
scared to do that. I didn't looking for the job. And I got job support myself and the cat. I was
And the cat. Okay.
I 6 cats that time.
6.
Yes.
Do you remember all their names?
Oh yeah. Robinson, Fatty, Butchie, Snoo, Tora, Annie. Annie,
Oh,
only one is a female. I support myself very well.
yeah.
Working for the family, working for babysitter, clean a house, clean the office, that kind of stuff I did.
Yeah.
Lucky, everybody likes me. So
Yeah. And were you doing any artwork during this time?
no time for that. I'm
No
not thinking about that.
Right, right. It's funny because I went through a period like that too, cleaning houses and many, many jobs to support myself as an actor. But so what finally changed for you? When did you pick up the paintbrush again?
Well, I met with my husband now, Fred.
Fred, yeah.
He is doing acting like a Shakespeare groups. And I was take care of the costume for them.
Oh, because you had gone to school for textile design, right?
Well, I met Fred. My brain had a little bit of space.
Yeah.
Maybe I gonna do better job.
Right.
You can do that, the cleaning house or waitress
Right.
forever. That's why I went to the class, took a class, and then I find the job. But anyway, Fred going to the trouble with group. And one time a Swedish director came and they needed costume. I have idea.
Mhm.
So I talked to him and he said, it's great. I sketch it. And it's a 4 element: fire, water, earth, wind, the
Oh,
element.
uh-huh.
And 4 element different actor doing different costume to doing parade on the street.
Where did you learn to sew?
Well, I don't know. I never learned to sew, but it's a weekend sew.
Yeah.
And it's just, need the patterns. I went to the store, the pattern store,
Mhm.
get the similar patterns, not exactly same, but
Yeah.
okay, pajama pants, make a suit pants, little bit wider, continue longer.
Mhm.
Or it's just, okay, this type of thing, maybe this patterns, maybe I can change it. That
Right.
kind of stuff.
Okay, so I see you smiling all of a sudden, whereas you weren't smiling when you were talking about the piano and you weren't smiling when you were talking about all those jobs, and now you're smiling. So you liked this job.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Right.
Creation fun.
Yes,
It
creation
is.
is fun. So so you were making these, and it was a Shakespeare show, a traveling
The
sort of,
Shakespeare show.
and
And then everybody going to Europe. I didn't go with Europe.
oh my gosh, it's
That
too
was
bad you
fun.
couldn't go. When were you able to travel again? Did you finally get citizenship so that you could go out of the country?
Well, I got married him, Fred.
Right, right.
So I got the green card. We had interviews at a separate room and same question type of thing. What kind of toothpaste are you using? What this morning breakfast type of thing,
Right,
very
right,
simple.
right.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you did these costumes for these shows, and isn't that where you started to get the idea about the Shakespeare plants?
Yes, because I will listen there every single day. And Ophelia sings, oh my gosh, so many flower name. And some other scenes, plant name, another plant name. Wow, that's interesting. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
And then I got a big Shakespeare book.
Mhm.
I can understand it completely, but
Mhm.
this is a plant name. Check the yellow
Yeah,
mark.
yeah.
The whole thing, I did it.
You went through the entire collected works?
Mhm. I have a book. I don't know the story.
Yeah.
I don't care about the story. I like to know which plant is this play showing, and then figure out, okay, this was very interesting. This plant is some
Mhm.
kind, always meaning is a plant.
Right. Do you remember what the first one you painted was?
Midsummer Night Dream.
So you started with Midsummer Night's Dream, and then, as I recall, you got a little obsessed with the project, right?
Oh yeah. And then my adopted mother was passed away. Adopted father was passed away before that. So I got some money, finally
Oh, okay.
little bit
Mm-hmm,
comfortable.
mm-hmm.
That's why I decided, okay, I'm gonna stay in England. So I rented a place and stay 4 months in London. I just walk around, maybe Shakespeare walk around here. Maybe look at this tree or thinking about it or something like this. I
Yeah,
walk,
yeah.
that's it.
So you started with a walking show and you ended up walking around yourself. Oh, I love that. And didn't you spend a lot of time at the New York Botanical Garden as
Oh
well?
yeah,
Yeah.
every single day. That's I went to New York Botanical Garden a lot, and in England it's library a lot, Kew Garden a lot. Piano play the 5 hours. I was tough, but it's 8 hours painting and nothing. I just take care of the cat. My husband is not here. I would just eat, just painting and look at the painting.
Oh my God, that's
But
fantastic.
that time I was really very happy, very high, probably.
I think so many people miss out on the advantages and the gifts of a purpose and an obsession, even a focus. It just expands your life from inside and out. So, and I think you just illustrated that, spoke that beautifully. So how did you know when you were done?
I wasn't thinking about the book or anything. This
Yeah,
was my work.
right.
If I painted 170 something done, that's my life is something I did. Just finished the Shakespeare. After that, I done.
Yeah, so I was told that you couldn't paint anymore.
I didn't think about that. Could
I
it's
remember
really
hearing that you had fallen and broken your hand. When did that happen?
Well, that's doing and not the painting time. I
Yeah.
was at a job to, you know.
Mhm.
But I was thinking, retired. If 75 retired, I'm gonna be retired at 75 because I'm a very healthy person.
Mhm.
So I can do moving around and walking, and the 75 would be okay.
How long have you been gardening?
Gardening time to time, weeding and new plant, just the space out there, I put in there. That's it, you know. It's not a particular garden. Touching a plant is touching grass, touching earth. It's very relaxed.
Yeah.
So I retired. What I gonna do? Spare time. Back to the painting.
So I want to tell the story for a second about how when I came into the picture and we started researching, and some plants needed to change or they needed a little bit of extra, like the cherries needed the actual double cherry and things like that. And you found shepherd's purse, parmacetti, and which was such a great find very late in the game, because my anxiety had always been of missing one, and hardly anybody else has that. I don't think anybody else has that except
Nobody.
the little book that you found, and it's Parmacetti for an Inward Bruise from Henry IV Part 2, and it's just beautiful, and it brings another plant to the Shakespeare plant canon. So that was just a great, late 11th hour find. So now you have this book after all of these years. I mean, what year did you start painting the plants? Do you remember when that was?
That was 87.
Okay, so yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice if somebody was going to pick up the paintbrush?
Painting is don't need a teacher.
You don't think so?
Of course, basic drawing. But to me, any other art, like a theater art, music, it's rules. But the painting doesn't have a rules.
Right. That's beautiful.
Depend on what type of a painting. But it's nowadays, it's more like from inside. In the mind is release. Okay, release this kind of smell, and this is the feeling.
Yeah.
That's always in the mind that I try to paint, but this feeling is not in there. I try to, and the smell I try to, but impossible. But I try to still now.
But I mean, what attracted me to your pictures was not only that the fact that so many people still do the woodcuts for Shakespeare's flowers, and those are so static and so flat and so that you can sometimes barely tell what the plant is. And I saw movement in your pictures, and I could recognize the plants when I was out in the wild, in the field, in the garden. And I found that very exciting. And I think just because you had the thought of the feel and the smell, which is fascinating, I wouldn't have thought of that. There's somehow the paintings are imbued with that idea. I do think so.
Thank you.
This was
Okay.
fantastic. I learned things I didn't know.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Talk to you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.